You had page 33, 1 to 5, was it? Yes.
You didn't call it my name.
Say that again?
You didn't call it my name.
Are you not on my list? Who are you?
Holly Flanagan.
Say that again?
Holly Flanagan.
Holly Flanagan. I just have to get Mary to move you over, Holly. Sorry.
Because I was out last week, but I was in the opportunity.
Alright, okay, yeah. I'll move you. I'll get you moved. Right, okay, sorry. Right, 1 to 5, so does anyone need me to do any bit of number 1? Did you check your answers? Yeah, you all checked your answers, so you know which ones you got right and wrong. Right, any bit of number 1, so. Any bit of number 2. Make sure you ask now if you didn't get it right. Any bit of number 3. Any bit of number 4. You okay with the -3 and everything in number 4? Right, and any bit of number 5. We're okay? Right, okay. So what I might move on to is solving linear equations. You're all okay? You're sure you're okay? Right. Solving linear equations. So, right, okay. So, if you just listen to me for a minute, okay? So, and you did this last year as well, okay, but you've probably forgotten it. So, if you just listen to me for a minute, and then I'll give you a chance to write. So, what do you think an equation has in it, girls? An equation. What does an equation have? Remember we did expressions before. What does an equation have in it? And I covered the last bit of the word because it's in there. What does an equation have in it? What's that the start of? EQUA. Yes. An equal sign. Right? Okay. So an equation have an equal sign. So it has an equal sign. Okay. And when you solve an equation, girls, the last line is going to read, remember x stands for a number. So in the section we've just done, they told me what x stood for. As in last night's homework, they told me x was 2, or x was -3, or x was whatever. Now I have to figure out what x is. So if I just give you a simple equation, okay, again, you don't need to write, right? Actually, put down the pens, because you're all tempted to write, I can see by you, right? X plus 3 equals 5. That number, or that letter stands for number. So we know before we start, what number does it stand for? A number, if you take a number and you add 3 to it, the answer is 5. What does x stand for? 2. X stands for the number 2, doesn't it? Because 2 plus 3 equals 5. Is that right? Okay. But we're going to learn a method how to solve it, okay? So I don't know how you did these last year, but this is how you're going to do it this year. Right. First thing you do is you build a wall with the equal sign. So build a wall. Right? Okay? So anything on the left hand side of the wall, I want all the terms with x in it. So if it's got an x in it, it's on this side. I need it to be on the left side. And if it's got no x in it, I need it to be on the right hand side. Okay, so we know the answer, but we're learning the method. So if it's got an x, it's on the left hand side. If it's got no x, it's on the right hand side. And if you have to move something over the wall, what happens? You change the sign. So if you have to go over the wall, you change the sign. So I'm on the left hand side now. X, is it on the right side? Is it on the side with the x's? Yeah, so I write it down. Is plus 3 where I want it to be? Is it on the right side where I want it to be? No. So I'm not going to write it for a minute. Then I write my equal sign. Is 5 where I want it to be? Yeah, it's over this with the no x's, isn't it? So there's no x in 5, so that's where I want it to be. So I have to bring the plus 3 over the wall. What happens when plus 3 goes over the wall? It becomes a -3. And then I just do my sum. Over here I have an x Here I have 5 take away 3. What would 5 take away 3 be? 2. And remember, I knew the answer before I started. So that's example 1. Do you want to write down example 1 and into your notes copy, and then I'll do example 2 in a minute. So when you've written down, put the pens down again and we'll listen to me again. Don't crack your fingers. That's, you know, there's a sound that pushes you over the edge. That's my one. Like I'll go mental. I might throw you out the window. Anything could happen. So don't crack your fingers in my presence. Don't crack your fingers within a radius of about 500 meters of me, because I can hear it, and that's all I can hear. Do you all crack your fingers? Yeah, I have a child who does it. I'm like, I have to give him up for adoption. Like, yeah, we can't. Right, example 2. Right, okay. So again, stop writing. Listen. Right, first thing I do is, right, okay, I probably know the answer before I start. Sometimes I will know the answer before I start. But this is a number. I don't know what the number is. That's my job, to find that number. A number, take away 2 will give me 9. What's the answer? What's it? 11. Because 11 take away 2 will give me 9, isn't it? So that X stands for 11. Right, okay, but we're not, I don't want the answer. I want to learn the method. Okay? So the first thing I do is what? Build a wall. Right? Okay? So I want, if it has an X in it, I want it over this side. If it has no X in it, I want it over this side. And if I move it over the wall, what have I to do to it? Change the sign. Change the sign. It might necessarily be a plus. Right? Change the sign. Okay. So is X where I want it to be? Yeah. Now, this is minus 2. Is minus 2 where I want it to be? No. So I'm going to leave it a minute. Coming over to the other side, is 9 where I want it to be? Yeah. So the minus 2 comes over the wall. What happens when the minus 2 comes over the wall? It becomes a plus 2. So X is equal to 9 plus 2. What's 9 plus 2? 11. And he told me the answer before we start. So we're just learning the method here. We know the answer. Example 2, write it down. Right, are we ready? Right, okay. So here I want to, what's the first thing I do? Build a wall. Right, if it's got an X in it, I want it over on the left hand side. No X in it, I want it on the right hand side. 2X, staying or going? Staying. Plus 1, staying or going? Going. Now I'm going over the other side. 7, staying or going? Staying. Now the plus 1 comes over the wall and becomes what? Minus 1. So you get 2x is equal to 7 take away 1. What is 7 take away 1? 6. Now, this one's slightly different to the ones up here because there's a 2 stuck to the x. Well, so what does that mean? 2 add x equals 6, 2 take away x equals 6, 2 multiply by x equals 6, or 2 divided by x. When the 2 stuck to the x, there's no sign between them. So anytime there's no sign, what do they want you to do? They want you to multiply. So you have to do the opposite to that. So it's 2 multiplied by a number will give me 6. So what's the opposite to multiply? Divide. So you divide each side by whatever's stuck to the x. So what's stuck to the x? 2. So divide that side by 2 and you divide that side by 2. The 2's cancel, you're just left with an x. And over this side you have 6 divided by 2. What's 6 divided by 2? 3. Okay, write it down, example 3, and I'll keep going. Right, ready? For the next one, right, here we are, example 4. Again, don't write, listen. You can write in a minute. Okay, so what's the first thing I do? Build a wall. Then I go, is 3x where I want it to be? Write it down. Is plus 4 where I want it to be? No. Don't write it in a minute. Is 13 where I want it to be? Yeah. So I have to bring the plus 4 over the wall. What happens when the plus 4 comes over the wall? It becomes a minus 4. So then you have 3x, and you can do this take away over here. 13 take away 4, what would that be? 9. So then you divide each side by 3. Why 3? Because it's stuck to the x, yeah? So divide each side by 3 and you end up with x is equal to 9 divided by 3, which is 3. Okay, write down example 4. Oh, sorry. I meant to freeze it. Okay, are you ready? Okay, this one's harder again. Okay, why is this one harder again? Why did I say it's harder? Because there's 2x bits, isn't there? Okay, so what's the first thing I do? Build a wall. 5x, staying or going? Staying, write it down. Minus 3, staying or going? Going. 3x, staying or going? It needs to go because it's got an x in it, so it needs to come over this side, doesn't it? What about 1? Staying or going? Staying. Right. So the minus 3 has to go over the wall that way, so what happens to it? It becomes a plus 3. And the 3x has to go that way. What happens to the 3x when it goes that way? It becomes, there's no sign with the 3x, so when there's no sign, what's understood to be there? Plus, so when it comes over the wall, what is it? A minus. What is 5x take away 3x? 2x. What is 1 plus 3? 4. Now what do I do? There's a 2 stuck to the x. How do I unstick it? Divide each side by 2. And you end up with the 2's cancel here. You've just x on its own, which is what you wanted to happen. And 4 divided by 2. What's 4 divided by 2? 2. There's my answer. Okay. So I'm going to give you a load of these to do, because the more you do, the better it sticks in your brain. So page 35 to 36. Between now and tomorrow, right, let's do numbers 4 up to 18. That's a lot of sums now, okay? So I'm going to put them up and you're going to start now, okay? So, Holly, are you even on my Teams? No?
Yeah.
Right, that's fine. Not now. Teams. We are seconders. Now, okay, I'll